Hey guys, Comic Boom here to review Heroes in Crisis number 6 of 9. I picked up this cover. I probably should have gotten the other one. I'm a little bit disappointed in the covers on this particular issue. Just a nitpick here. This is not the loss of Barry Allen on the cover. Kid Flash wasn't present. He wasn't even around when Barry Allen died in the original Crisis. So this cover doesn't make any sense. Not a big deal. I know they take creative license with it, but if you're going to do a cover dealing with the loss of Barry Allen, then why aren't you drawing Barry Allen actually in the picture dying as he's trying to destroy the Anti-Monitors thing? I'm assuming this is supposed to be the death of Barry Allen from the original Crisis, or is this from a different storyline? You guys can clue me in. Maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe I'm being wrongly critical of this cover. Storyline themselves, I found this involves Gnark, who's basically a troglodyte caveman, former member of the Titans of the New 52, if I recall, and then there was a Wally West and Harley Quinn. I found this much easier to read when the way Tom King sort of laced these stories together made it generally a confusing read. I literally read I read the caveman story first, and I skipped to the pages with Gnark in them, and I just read that straight through, and it was much more of an enjoyable read. I then read the Wally West pages in isolation from the rest, and then I read the Harley Quinn pages with Poison Ivy in isolation from the rest, and it reads much better. Flows much more smoothly. The way everything was interspaced, executed, laid out, structured I wasn't a big fan of it. But story-wise, again, nothing happens here. That's my main criticism. Now, having said that, it's quite clear that this Sanctuary is not about therapy. That's not the story that Tom King wants to tell here. I'll be honest, I'm not really sure what the story is that Tom King wants to tell. Clearly therapy doesn't work for the heroes. Clearly it's not about therapy. I'm not even sure it's about the murder mystery at this point. I'm not even sure what the point of this comic book was. You could literally skip this issue and you've missed absolutely nothing. Just to be clear here, the number of pages wasted on Gnark. He's a caveman. He philosophically reflects. He used to be alive 100,000 years ago. He was frozen in ice, defrosted in the modern day, and he's reflecting on life and death. Okay, completely irrelevant to the story. We have the Flash, Wally West. It shows flashbacks of him. It shows him with the scene in Rebirth where he's hugging Barry Allen, and Barry Allen basically tells him that classic Rebirth scene that has been squandered since by DC by abandoning Rebirth. So how could I ever forget you? And they hug. There was more to that dialogue, apparently, at least in Tom King's world. I don't know if this is actually happening. That's the other problem with this series. How much is real? How much isn't? I don't know. I'm not even sure we're supposed to care. Again, goes to the whole point. I'm not sure what the point of this series is. Wally West just says, "Where's my family?" Yeah, this is the return of hope, Barry Allen says. He's so happy to see Wally, and then Wally says, "Yeah, I know, but Barry, where's my family?" We've known forever. We've known since Rebirth, of course. Since the Rebirth one-shot that Wally West is looking for his family. It was squandered in Titans Hunt, the series. In the Titans series, which was terrible. Completely abandoned its premise. It never focused on hope. At no point did Wally did any writer, did DC bother to show Wally West. Well, it showed Wally caring, wanting to find his family. Flash War was about finally Wally wanting to find his family. But a complete indifference on the part of the rest of the DC universe. No one giving a damn if Wally West finds Linda or the kids. Instead, they just think he needs help. The focus on this is so frustrating. It's just so frustrating. But in defense, because I've kind of been bitching and whining so far, but let me try to give some compliments to this. Try to give some saving grace to this book. I won't succeed, but I'm gonna try. Wally West is all depressed. So should Wally West get therapy for the fact that he can't find his wife and kids and they're lost somewhere in the multiverse or time or wherever? Yeah. So can I see that it makes sense that Wally West maybe at some point would go to Sanctuary? okay, I can see it a little bit more now. So in that respect, well, okay, okay, all right. But didn't we already kind of know that already? There's no, I didn't find there to be any genuine character moments in here. It didn't reveal anything we didn't already know. It basically shows Wally West throughout all his adventures through the Titans, through coming back, meeting the Flash, that he was constantly depressed because he couldn't find his wife and his kids. Yeah, we knew that. So this is just making that point again. We knew that. That's why he was sent to Sanctuary in the first place. So why are you wasting an issue on it? And then, I mean, and if you think that that's a waste, and I do think that's a waste, why are they, you know, is it important? Was it really important that we hear Gnark, a troglodyte character that no one cares about, and there's a reason why he doesn't. There's a reason why he's not in any comic book anymore. I mean, this is Gnark. That's DC's version of Captain America. You know, sounds like a caveman, talks like a caveman. But 100,000 years ago, I'm sure Gnark was considered an Einstein because the IQ was much lower for troglodytes. And so back then he was really smart, and he's quoting Plato, and he's quoting Yeats, and he's quoting all these things, which of course we know that's Tom King, because Tom King routinely quotes poems and everything else in his Batman run, and now he's just doing that, and he's making a troglodyte do the quotes. Again, okay, what does that have to do with the story? Did we get any advancement of the murder mystery? No advancement at all. We see Harley Quinn. We know that Harley Quinn now, apparently, we know that she was in there with Poison Ivy. We already knew that. We know that when the Sanctuary was attacked by these killers or killer, that the Sanctuary artificial intelligence told everybody to get out, but Harley Quinn stayed behind because apparently Harley Quinn broke into Sanctuary and no alarms went off. So somehow Harley Quinn got into Sanctuary and no alarms went off. But when this killer broke into Sanctuary to do all this killing, that's when the alarm went off. But anyways, Harley Quinn's there with Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy says, oh, the alarm's gone off and they want us to leave, but I tell you what, Harley, you stay here. I'm going to go see what's going on. Poison Ivy leaves, presumably gets killed, and then Booster Gold appears, and Booster Gold appears to be the murderer, and this is told from the perception of Harley Quinn. We've already seen sort of Booster's perception before, so in a previous issue where we think Harley was the murderer, and now it's suggesting that Booster Gold was the one that did all the killing. And, yeah. And is, again, really no clue as to who the, you know, I mean, it's all speculation at this point. We know from last issue, we were 6 issues in at $3.99 a comic, and the only clue we have is that that Wally West his corpse is technically 5 days older than it should be, and accordingly, it's possible because of the way time travel works. Technically, there is a Wally West still alive for another 5 days, and he's going to die 5 days in the future, and his corpse is going to be transported back in time to when he died at Sanctuary. So what is Wally West up to? Is Wally West still around? Is Wally West still involved in all this? Is all this a hallucination? Is this all just an AI construct? I don't really know. Let me tell you this, as an observation, and then I'm going to end this video. This is just more of the same thing. This is just more ramblings that are useless ramblings by the characters, and just we have very little advancement of the plot here, and this is extremely this is just a frustratingly painful read, and I have to give this as a story. I got to give this one a 3 out of 10. The art really also, I think, suffers in this issue. I got to give the art a 5 out of 10. This is by far the worst issue to date, and that's well, I won't say that's saying something. I thought last issue we were finally going to get some plot progression, but no. Not only are the covers, I think, inappropriate and bad, and I think they're the worst covers so far of the first 6 issues. This is by far the worst story so far. There isn't anything in here, unless you guys are really interested in hearing about a troglodyte superhero that you've never heard of before, and you want to spend $3.99 and hear about a troglodyte in therapy from an artificial intelligence, don't bother picking this up, all right? But in any event, Sorry, once again, nothing nice to say, but so be it. That's constructive, right? Constructive criticism. Hopefully this will improve. I feel like I need therapy after reading this because I bought it, but I have to buy it. I'm a completionist. I gotta finish reviewing this series. I got it. It's just one of those things, you know. Anyways, guys, tell me what you think of Heroes in Crisis. Go to therapy. Try to avoid Sanctuary. I heard it's a dangerous place. People tend to end up dead there, and no one seems to care if you end up dead there. And I heard that the psychiatrist is kind of a machine-like person, and he doesn't really, not very. Their success rate is 0. There's been 0 success rate at Sanctuary. Ever notice that? Every single one, there hasn't been a single success story at Sanctuary. Not one. Has there been a single success story from Sanctuary? Just one? Not one. Failures across the board. The Trinity. Just think. Combination of the Amazonian, Kryptonian, and Batman's Bat-Tech technology, and Bruce Wayne's resources, and not one single success story. I mean, their success story is worse than Arkham Asylum, if you can believe that. Wow. Anyways, comic boom out.